Shalom Israel, or Shabbat Shalom. The Sabbath is soon finna be over with, right in a couple minutes. So with that being said, Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops, great millstone. Shalom to the whole elect, beginning with 144,000. Shalom. So this lesson will be titled, The Elder Shall Serve the Younger, right? Just quoting Genesis 25:23, right? And this is a future prophecy, right? It has yet, been fulfilled, but it's soon to come, right? And y'all may be asking, what does he mean? The elder shall serve the younger, right? So we're finna get into it. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 23. And the reason the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, said it to her, who is her, Rebecca, right? How for a mother, he said, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So Yahweh told Rebecca, right? Rebecca was pregnant. He was telling her, hey, you got 2 nations of people in your womb, right? And 2 manner of people that shall be separated from thy bowels, right? And these 2 nations are who? Esau and Jacob. Ultimately, who was Esau? The so-called white man, right? The Caucasians, right? They call Caucasians because why? They came from Mount Caucasus, right? And you got Jacob, who was related, named Israel, which consists of the blacks, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? So those are those 2 nations. Those are those 2 manner of people, right? So let's get back to it. He said, the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger, right? So the elder brother is who? The one that was born first, right? So let's get into it. And just to prove my point that Esau is the white man, hold on. Who is Esau in the Bible, right? So as you can see, even through the images, right? And it even says it, right? Esau is described as a skillful hunter, a man of the field, right? Which we know that Esau is known for hunting, right? Even in today's world, they got hunting events, right? Who could bring back the biggest deer, right? They go out in the wilderness shooting these animals, right? Bringing them into zoos, just doing any and everything, right? And that's why these animals came existence, right? Extinct, so like I said, extinct, right? Because like Esau done hunted them damn man, they killed all the damn species of this particular animal, right? So even Google shows you that Esau's the so-called white man, right? And we're going to further prove that through Genesis, the 25th chapter. When we start back at verse 24, he's saying, when her days to deliver were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So as you can see, the first child came out all red, right? All over like a hairy garment. But why did they describe Esau and not Jacob? Why? Because Esau came out strange, right? Everybody else was a person of color, right? As in so-called black person, right? So they describe Esau because Esau the one that came out strange, right? So he said after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years when when she bred them, right? So Esau came out first, and Jacob came out second, holding on to Esau's heels, right? It just showed you that Esau, the so-called white man, is the older brother, and Jacob, right, consists of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? It's the younger brother, right? So when you jump back up to verse 23 and saying the elder shall serve the younger, y'all may ask, when shall this be, right? And this will be in the kingdom of heaven, right? the Israelites' kingdom, ruled by Yahushua kingdom, right? The Israelites by default. But let's get to it. It's the book of 2nd Ezra 6. We'll start at verse 7. And it reads, say, then answer I said, I started verse 6. He said, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answer I said, what shall be the parting as under other times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followed? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? And it's also a symbol or a sign or a symbol of how Jacob's going to take Esau down, right? By pulling on his heel. So verse 9, he said, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, right? So this just shows you how Esau is the end all be all, right? Of this kingdom, of this society. Esau never become back in rulership, right? Esau is going to be nothing after his kingdom is destroyed, right? He's saying Jacob is the beginning of it that follow, right? So that's when Israel's kingdom is going to be established, right? Ruled by Yahushua, King David, right, and the elect, and so forth, right? But ultimately, it's going to be the Hebrew Israelites' kingdom, right? And once the kingdom get here, guess who's gonna be building up these other nations? Started by starting with the Esau, offense starting with Esau, right? These elites, right? These small hats, these top banking families, right? The Rockefellers and etc. They're gonna be in captivity, right? They're gonna be our slaves, just how we were their slaves, right? Just how we were their slaves. The roles are going to reverse. The tables are going to turn, right? The elder shall serve the younger, meaning who? Esau is going to serve Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Because what we doing now, we serving Esau, right? It's part of the curses, right? And these curses are going to soon turn back on Esau. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's get to it real quick. I get straight to the point. In verse 68, and it reads, and the Lord shall, I think I want another verse. So this Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16, it reads, and the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, right? And we know that the Bible is spoken in codes, right? So he used Egypt as, in other words, as the house of bondage. What's in other words as a house of bondage? Slavery, right? You can prove that with Exodus, the 20th chapter, and verse 2, and it reads, I am the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, thy power, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, right? So, once again, in other words, for the house of bondage is what? Slavery. So let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68, and it reads, and the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. In other words, into slavery again with ships. So we know what all nations of people came into slavery on ships, right? They teach you this in history, social studies, etc., right? The so-called African Americans, right? The Hebrew Israelites. So he said, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there shall be sold unto your enemies. But mind you this, he said, thou shalt see it no more again. You know what? We are never going to have to go through this captivity or go through captivity ever again, right? This is our last captivity that we have to face, right? Once Yahushua returns back, we get our immortal bodies, right? Get out our kingdom in the center. We'll never have to worry about it ever again. So he's saying there shall be sold unto your enemies. Who are our enemies? The other nations, right? But we were sold unto who? Esau. This is Esau land, Babylon the Great, aka America, right? Say for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Meaning what? No man shall save you. You know, no one can save us but who? Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, right? And I think I want to verse 48. So this Deuteronomy 28 verse 48, and it reads, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee, and in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he had destroyed thee, right? And that's what we're doing now. We still serving our enemies to this day. Just because the so-called slavery period is over and our ancestors went through it for us and etc. doesn't mean that we're not in captivity anymore. We're still in captivity. We're still working for the white man. We still got to get everything through the white man, right? Still got to obey the white man, right? And we still in the white man's land. We're not in our homeland, so therefore we're still in captivity till this day. And we're going to continue to be in captivity until Yahweh shall return back and conquer this earth. Right, I was going to say damn earth, but I didn't want to say that. So anyways, we got a couple of precepts just proving how, Esau is going to be, and Esau, including these other nations, are going to be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Right, so this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 10, and it reads, He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, right? So he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. All these other nations, right? We've been enslaved under we've been enslaved under all these nations, right? So therefore we're going to get our right revenge. They got to pay for what they did to the Heavenly Father jury, which is who? The Hebrew Israelites, the Lord's chosen people, right? So let's go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, verse 18. Verse 18, and it reads, But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess it, the kingdom forever and ever, forever, even forever and ever, right? So this just shows you how the kingdom we're going to possess. We're going to possess it for eternity, right? We'll never have to go out of rulership ever again. We'll never have to worry about war again. We'll never have to worry about somebody trying to take over it or anything, right? Because while the kingdom of heaven is going to be possessed by us, right? It's the saints. And last but not least, Isaiah 14, and I'll start at verse 1. And there's many more precepts I could have brought out, but I feel like the point is being proven, right, or came across. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1, and it reads, For the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. So this just shows you how the Most High is going to have mercy on Jacob, and he's going to yet choose Israel, right, and set them in their own land. Are we in our own land yet? No. This is the Lord. This is what the Lord is soon finna do. He said, And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And a lot of people will read this verse and think the strangers are talking about the other nations. No, the strangers are talking about the Israelites, right? The foreign Israelites, the Israelites that that don't have this knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, right? They still have a zeal of God. Just like in the back of the day, you had Israelites that's thinking they were Romans, right? Greeks and things of that such. That's what it's referring to, right? So soon, these strangers, which are these Israelites, are going to soon cleave the house of Jacob, right? Getting this knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Verse 2, he's saying the people shall take them and bring them to their place. So the Israelites are going to take them and bring them to their place. Take who? These other nations, right? Esau, Edom being the first, right? Esau really had to pay for what the hell he done did, right? We can't stand Esau. The Most High don't like Esau. Esau is really going to get hell, like, for real. The other nation, and that's the thing, Esau's going to go extinct after his time is up, right? The other nation, they're going to be able, after their time up, they're going to be able to enjoy the kingdom as well, right? But Esau, Edom, but yeah, it's going extinct. We don't like you at all. So starting back up at verse 2, he said, And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids. So that just shows you how the house of Israel, the Israelites, are going to possess these other nations, take them back to their land so these other nations can be their servants and handmaids. Just how we were their servants and handmaids, the table's going to turn, right? The water Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, right? He said, they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So they're just showing you right there clear as day that we were their slaves and they soon finna be our slaves, right? And we're going to rule over them, right? With the rod of iron, right? This quote in the Revelations. But off at verse 3, he's saying, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. So the Lord's going to give us rest from our sorrow, right? That stress, that pain, that sorrowfulness, hey, we ain't got to worry about that no more. And from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. So we gonna have rest from all these things, man. We'll never have to worry about it ever again, right? We're going to get our revenge, right? And etc. We're going to feel great inside. We're going to feel great inside, right? We're going to feel great inside. So I want to quick piece up. Just to prove that Esau Edom is going extinct. It's the book of Obadiah chapter 1. And we'll start at verse 9. We'll start at verse 8. And it reads, shall I not in that day, said the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Timon, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So everyone by the mount of Esau are going to be cut off by what? Slaughtered. Same way they slaughtered us, fed us to alligators, peeled off our skins, right? Raped us, burnt us, hanged us, whipped us, and everything that they did to us, we're going to do better to them, even 10 times worse, right? He said, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. So Esau is our brother, right? We both came out of the same womb, right? Both came out of Rebecca, our mother, right? So he the elder. So the elder is going to serve the younger, right? That's future prophecy. So that just shows you how, Esau's our brother. But the thing that he did is, we don't fuck with him, For thy violence against thy brother Jacob shall shame cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. So Esau's going to be cut off forever, right? Ain't no more Esau roaming around in the kingdom. Ain't no Edomites, none of that. Yeah, it's going to be cut off, And I can't wait. Can't fucking wait. I can't stand you motherfuckers. I can't, And with that being said, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson, right? Once again, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, great millstone, shown to the whole field, beginning with the 144,000.